once in the 1960s, have you ever heard of Enoch Powell and his River of Blood speech?
Oh, I haven't heard of the speech. Go on, tell me.
So anyone who doesn't know, Enoch Powell was a politician in the post-war Britain, 1960s. He makes this speech and is talking about the influx of immigration coming into the country. And he quotes Sybil in book 6.
Oh, interesting.
And he says, it's like a Roman soldier looking over the river Tiber. Soon it will be foaming with much blood.
Interesting. Okay. The river Tiber foaming with much blood. Interesting.
Yeah, and that he was drawing a distinction between the influx of immigration coming into the UK. And he thought the speech would go down terrifically and launch his bid for the leadership campaign. He gets thrown out of the shadow cabinet, and his career was destroyed as a politician. Therefore,
Interesting. Yeah. Choose your Virgil lines correctly. God, interesting. Yeah, that's a strong line to use. Yeah, rivers of blood talking about immigration, perhaps not the not the best one to use. What was your other example?
I was recently reading Michael Gove's review of Boris Johnson's book, and he likens it between a cross between the Aeneid and Mr. Biggles. Yeah, that's the only one I've got. But I've written down. I thought I'm going to save that for Harry when we do our podcast.
That's amazing, interesting. I mean, yeah, well, I think the Aeneid is so important, and it's such a and I think it's good for politicians because, as I said before, it's so layered. There's so many voices, interpretations, so you can use a quote and you can say whatever you want for it, And there's that one line I think which I maybe I mentioned in our last podcast, but the idea that in the 9/11 Memorial Center there is a line from Virgil's Aeneid, and it's in book 9. And this is a moment when Virgil steps in. He does this now, and then when the narrator speaks in and says over the text, "Oh well, this is," and he says, because book 9, I don't want to spoil it, but Nisus and Euryalus, these two friends. Book 9 is a little epic. It's called an epillion, which is a story within a story. And these two friends, they have a nighttime raid of the enemy camp. They kill people and then they die themselves, and they're trying to defend each other. And they're in a brotherly love, to endures, and it's a great moment. But and then the Virgil says at the end, "Oh, never will history erase your name," or something like that. I don't know the exact translation, but then the brilliant minds in the States after 9/11 decided to use that quote in the Memorial Center, and I think I've mentioned before, it's troubling because it's a quote glorifying Nisus and Euryalus, who were technically the terrorists in that instant, killing people while they sleep. So it is a strange line, but I mean, but Virgil all the time, it's you. I might actually make a video about that Enoch Powell thing. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Yeah, like that. In fact, yeah, I think it's so important, and there's some brilliant lines from it which you can use all the time, really.